Alright, here up at No Reserve we have our extremely hard to find factory black 1995 Ford F350. So it's a full 1-ton regular cab. It's got the 460 with just 125,000 original miles. It's always been a Northwest truck. All original black paint. It's got that really nice light gray interior. These 1-ton regular cabs are one of the hardest trucks to find, right next to the crew cab shorty F250s. But this truck is, clean Washington title. I put about 1,000 miles on it just using it as a driver because I love the regular cabs with my son. So we'll go ahead. It's got a really beautiful dark paint job, nice and deep. You can see my reflection. I took some pictures of some of the original owner's manuals, standing from this far away. So you can still see my reflection. I mean, shows it's a nice paint job. It's got a little oversized 285 Toyo tires on the factory Alcoa wheels. And one thing that's funny, people think it's rare, or it's hard to find, is it still has the factory Ford plastic caps. A lot of times people didn't put these on right, or they broke the little ears off, and they would just pop off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little walk around with this. Paint job looks amazing, but it's a 24-year-old factory black paint job, so black shows anything. You'll see a truck that's a couple years old and it's going to show imperfections that a silver one and white one won't show at all. So we'll go ahead and get in here and start walking around. It just has some of your typical stuff, but this truck is in just incredible shape. But both headlights are a little bit faded. We of course have the stone chips along the bottom valance. It's just inevitable, especially being a big truck like this. If you stand back, they don't have much aerodynamics. So that's why people call them kind of like stub nose. The coves are a little bit faded, but all the chrome, if you stand back, and the bumpers and the trim is in nice shape. You will get a couple little stone chip, little pivots in these. But all the black moldings on the bumper are nice. The bumper isn't tweaked. It's got nice deep reflection. You obviously got a little condensation in here. We'll go to the back. The rear tail lights got good color on them. They're nice and red, but they are starting to fade a little bit. But there's no cracks or chips. But you could buff these out with just like a compound or a headlight restorer. But to be honest with you, these trucks are awesome because the little things that they weren't made expensively is kind of like the lenses, front and rear headlights, or the headlights, the tail lights, and then the mirrors. Even on the lowest mile trucks, these original chrome just kind of chips off. But what's awesome about these trucks is you could get brand new taillights for $20 to the door for 2. Your mirrors are about $30 to $45, depending on where you buy them, to your door. And then your headlights, you can buy factory style looking ones that look just like this, or diamond clear, or if you want to go crazy and go black. They're all from $30 for a set to $120 for a set, depending if you want some custom ones. As you come on the top of the hood here, you're going to have some, imperfections in the paint, little chips. Looks like maybe there's some tree sap that dripped on here and that's left, and it did, a little job in the paint. If you wanted to get real nuts on this, you could probably do some wet sanding and buff it out, but it really, especially for a 24-year-old truck, just looks incredible. There's no clear coat issues on any of the truck, no paint lifting issues. It's got the original front glass with the car light logo in the middle. But it's got a little chip there, but that is, any glass shop can fix that for you. The only aftermarket piece on the outside of this truck is the spray and bed liner, the diamond plate rails, and then it's got kind of the era correct Lund visor. The visor itself does, as you'll see in the pictures, does have some clear coat issues on the very top, but this truck is so big, it's really impossible to see unless you're like 6'5", but you could easily just pop that off and get it repainted. But none of the actual truck itself, the factory Ford truck, has any paint lifting issues. It did have a canopy on it most of its life, which has left the bed sides in just amazing condition. There's very little wear on the bed sides, but there is, around the window where, the canopy usually touches here, so there's some dirt, we usually sit up there. So you could probably use a little bit of waxing or buffing around the, above the glass. So we'll get in here, and the sun's starting to pop out a little bit, but you're going to have your typical stone chips along here. You're going to have some little road use chips around here, but very little entry wear and really no chips on the door edge, just a couple. Door shut really nice and easy. The paint is very soft and smooth to the touch. Bulkhead's nice and straight. But you'll see, you can see that, I took pictures of the bright sun and then just a normal overcast day, which is the ideal time to do photos. But so you can see it's full of swirls, amazingly. This is usually caused by somebody helping you take the canopy off, and then they make it all this way and then slip off. So a little wear right there. But you look at the rear bumpers, it's an amazing shape. You have your typical, some little scratches and chips at the top of the tailgate. No wear over here. Oh, it's got a little bit right there. But you can see the reflection of this paint is just awesome. I mean, I'm, probably 3 feet away doing the video, and I mean, you can see me just crystal clear. A little speck right there. Typically on most vehicles, as this one is, your driver's side bedside or your passenger side bedside is going to have a lot less wear. There really is no nicks or scratches on the top here, and your entry is always going to be a lot less. I mean, there's no scratches around here. The door edges doesn't really have any chips. Just a couple of little minimal ones, but I mean, just a little effort like that, and the door shuts nice. Both sides of the rubber wing window are nice shape. The door felts do have some drying and cracking, but again, this is one of the cheap items. You can get a set of 4, which is outside for both doors and inside for both doors for 35 bucks. It's just incredible. You really could spend probably about 250 bucks and get new felts, new mirrors, tail lights, and headlights. And it's not something I believe this truck needs, but if you want to do that, this truck will look just gorgeous. So I'll take you on the inside here. Hopefully the sun's not kicking up too much, but if it is a little bit bright, I have all those photos. There's nearly 200 photos of this truck. It has a bunch of receipts and work done. I mean, this is one of the receipts that's in the truck, but the other ones are in the file. Yeah, it's got over 1,700 bucks in shocks and tires. It's got the original checkoff sheet from when it was new. Signature. This is cool too. You rarely see this piece. It talks about the automatic the shift lock feature and the overdrive, all that stuff. All your original books, salesman cards. If Ben Holstad's still out there, probably looks a little older, but so we'll go ahead and fold these up. The interior on this truck is in amazing shape. I mean, the dash is absolutely perfect. The floor carpets, I mean, you see there's no stains, no holes, no wear marks. Of course, we took the floor mats out so you could see it. It's got the diamond plate for protection, the nice car steps. The seat just has a little mark right here, little mark right there. This folds up, so you got belts for 3. You got the cup holder option. This is killer for your wallet, and your cell phone fits right in there. But dash, you got 0 cracks. You can see the door panels in beautiful condition. What's great about this truck is it's got an aftermarket CD player, but besides that, the door panels have never been off. They're not loose, screws missing, no cracks. It's really just been left as it is and not tampered with. I mean, the original front glass is incredible. It's got the steering wheel is just an amazing shape, very little wear. I mean, usually the leather's pulled back, or someone's just worn a hole here, or it's getting loose, or they just pulled it all the way off. But you look, hopefully the camera, here you go. Carpet's in awesome shape, very little wear on the pads. No stains. Driver's side, doesn't have any breakdown or wear right here. There's absolutely no odors. This truck has got a little wear there. But these trucks, I don't know, for some reason, this material they used from 1994 on, this is kind of a common issue. You'll see like this colored material in gray goes on top of the lower material, and for some reason, this is just real common. You'll see this on a lot of the trucks, the Broncos and F-Series. Door panels in really nice shape. You look at all the writing, nice and clear. Wing windows are tight. And there's really nice paint throughout the door jamb. All right, I'll take you to show you inside the gas door. I mean, you still got your decal. There's no tape lines. No, really clean. So this is going at no reserve. Extremely hard to find factory black truck. The f350 regular cabs, the 1-ton 4x4s are hard to find, but black with gray interior truck is they're few and far between. So being original paint, Northwest truck with 0 rust, it's going to be a killer truck, and so good luck.
All right, here we are in a run and driving video of our all original 95 Ford F350 1-ton 4x4 with just 125,000 miles. Got the headlights going, got all the 4-ways going. should be warming up and coming up to temp. You can see how this thing's got great maintenance. The belts and hoses have been replaced. It's got a full tune-up. This distributor was replaced not too long ago. Exhaust manifold gaskets. The batteries, you can see it's just had really nice maintenance. Still the under hood light works. But the motor's nice and clean and honest, but it's not all greased up. You can see in its nice natural state. Got the 4 ways. You can see it's just still got the original exhaust, running nice and smooth. So hopefully the sun doesn't get too much in your face. But this time of year it's a little bit unpredictable, but I just wanted to make sure we got the good photos in just kind of an overcast day. But this truck is just beautiful in the sunlight, and at nighttime it's just got a shine that just doesn't end. So AC blows beautifully nice and cold, so taking advantage of that right now. It's got a little aftermarket CD player. So that works, sounds really nice. Power window motors just roll really nice and smooth. Even on a nice hot day, I mean, they just scoot. Overdrive off works correctly. You can see it light up. I'm going to show you that. Wipers work, but it's pretty hot out, so I don't want to burn up the wipes. But it's got some good blades on there. Go ahead and turn this off. Of course, the heater works good. Tilt steering is nice and smooth. You can see all the gauges work. It's just got 125,141 miles on it, so it'll be a little bit more than that with us driving and maybe some test drives that might happen. If you're unfamiliar with these trucks, it's a 2-tank system. They have different sending units and fuel pumps. So you can see the rear tank is a little bit above E, and then the front tank is almost a halfway. All the gauges, we're coming up to temp, good oil pressure, so we're going to go ahead and hit it. Your power door locks. It's got 2 keyless entry, key fobs, 2 sets of keys, all original books. So we're going to go ahead and hit it. But so back to the overdrive off. I got that pushed just so you can see the lights up when you decide to turn that off. It's not flashing at you when there is an issue, or if the bulbs burn out, it won't work. Or if the overdrive off feature isn't working, it won't light up. So this one's working correctly. And that's really owner preference. You could never ever touch that button and knob, and that's perfectly fine. Some people who are more of a owner maintainable, or driver, or kind of likes to keep more of an eye on the vitals. If they're doing stop and go traffic or towing or doing under 45 miles an hour city type driving, they'll turn that off, and what it does is it just kind of keeps the wear and tear of the up and down shift happening a lot of times. If you're stop and go traffic, you might go into overdrive and then back it down and into overdrive. So if you just turn this off when you're doing under 45 miles an hour, 40, 35 miles an hour, it'll just always just go 1, 2, 3 gears, and it stops that 3, 4 shifting. But again, it's just preference. You can never touch it, and it's good. So we're gonna get out on the highway here. This F350 drives extremely tight and quiet and smooth, especially for a 1-ton solid axle truck. It has got a ton of power, rides really nice and smooth, no noises, no abnormal feelings, no shaking of the brakes. It's just exactly how you would expect a low mile truck to drive and how you'd want it to drive. Really, you probably could replace everything on this truck and it's not going to drive or feel any better. The brakes are straight and smooth. It's got a stack of receipts I'll talk about in the description that have been done to it. The tires and brakes alone, it's the heavy duty tires with a little larger than stock. So I'm just going out on the highway, just kind of medium throttle, like you're just getting out here for a nice drive. And if you want to punch it, nice downshift. You can hear that big block 460, just that killer deep throttle body sound it gives off. These trucks don't have the best aerodynamics, so they never were air quiet. You're always going to get a little bit of wind noise, but it doesn't have any additional air leaks or water leaks. Everything's extremely tight on this truck. Everything works from every light to right now I got the cruise control going about 55 miles an hour. I'm off the gas, still doing about 54. So go ahead and turn it off, and you'll see it drop down in speed. So go ahead and hammer down here a little bit. This is really nice solid upshifts, nice, you know, solid downshifts, nice and quick. And then when you're just cruising around town, it's just nice and smooth. Zero issues with this thing, and the ball joints and tie rods are just extremely tight. You know, there's no play in the steering, not even a little bit, which is pretty remarkable for a 1-ton truck, straight axle truck especially, because they seem to be a little bit harder on components. Let's go ahead and could take you on a little back road here. It's got a lot of potholes and some bad patch jobs that, just to show you how solid this truck is, you're going to see pothole right here, bad patch, and you can just hear that more here. And I'm hitting those about 30 miles an hour, and there's a patch stripe in the middle there. It's raised up about 1.5 inches or so, and you can just hear that solid funk sound. That's what you want. You know, the dash doesn't rattle, the door panels haven't been off. You don't get the doors rattling, nothing under the undercarriage. You don't hear any, you know, weird exhaust rattling. You don't hear any U-joints. It's just 100% all there truck. So go ahead. And these 460s got great power, really good torque. So we're going to come in some tight 90s here just to show you how tight this thing is. Really nice steering box. You know, as soon as the truck straightens out, it wants to go into recovery mode and shoot straight. You know, it's the signs of a good steering box. It's not still turned or a slush box or you're not chasing it down. I mean, as soon as you start to turn this wheel, the truck's turning. It's going to be hard to find a nicer regular cab F350 or any F350 or 250, you know, factory black truck, especially with this miles. These trucks are starting to be extremely hard to find. You know, in the Northwest trucks, we use no salt on the road, so they're really sought after. But being an original paint truck just kind of adds to it. So it's going to be a wonderful truck for you. And if you have any questions or need additional photos or videos, please let me know. And it's going to be going at no reserve, so it will sell. Good luck.